If you're new to CMMC, let me start with a little reassurance. When you first hear there are 110 controls across 14 domains, it can sound like somebody dumped a 5-gallon bucket of requirements on your desk and said, good luck. And, well, that's not a great feeling. But the dashboard is meant to calm that down. It's your compliance command center, not a panic room. What I like about the dashboard is that it gives you one place to see where you stand right now. You get overall readiness, domain by domain progress, a journey progress bar, and even an audit countdown. So instead of wondering, are we in terrible shape? You can ask a much better question. What is the next right thing to work on? That's a very different mindset. And that's how I want you to think about these 110 controls. Not as a fire drill, more like a health check. You don't do a health check because you expect disaster every time. You do it so you can see what's healthy, what's a little weak, and what needs attention before it becomes a bigger issue. Same idea here. On the dashboard, overall readiness gives you that first big picture signal. It's useful because leadership usually wants the short version first. Are we close? Are we behind? Are we improving? That score helps answer those questions without making you dig through every single control on day one. Then you've got the 14 NIST domains. That's really where the story starts to make sense. Access control, audit and accountability, configuration management, incident response, all the way through system and information integrity. Each domain groups related controls together, so you're not staring at 110 disconnected tasks. You're seeing patterns, and patterns matter. If one domain is looking strong, great. That tells you where your company may already have good habits. If another domain is yellow, that usually means you've got some partial work in place, but not enough proof or consistency yet. And if a domain is at risk, don't take that as failure. Take it as direction. It's showing you where to start. Honestly, one of the biggest mistakes folks make is starting with the domain they like best. Human nature, right? We all want to tidy up the easy room first, but the smarter move is to go to the lowest scoring domain first. That's usually the fastest way to reduce real compliance risk. From there, jump into the controls page. That's where the exact gaps become concrete. All 110 NIST 800 171 controls are organized by domain, and each control card breaks things down in plain English, what this means, what you need to do, and what proof you need. I love that last part, by the way, because compliance is not just we do this, it's we can show we do this. You can update status, add notes, upload evidence, ask AI about that specific control, or generate a policy right there. So the dashboard tells you where the problem lives, and the controls page tells you what exactly to fix next. That's the rhythm. Don't try to solve everything in one sitting. Read the dashboard, find the weakest domain, open controls, and work the next gap. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Old habit of mine saying that, but it fits here. Once the dashboard tells you where you stand, the My Journey page helps answer the next question. Where do we go from here? And I think that's important because a lot of compliance tools show you a pile of requirements but not a path. This one gives you a 5-stage journey: foundation, discovery, build, prove, and audit ready. Now, those stage names are helpful because they sound like progress, not punishment. Foundation is where you get your footing. Discovery is where you learn what's really in place and what isn't. Build is where you start creating what's missing. Prove is exactly what it sounds like, gathering the evidence that backs up your claims. And audit ready means you're preparing to stand behind the whole thing with confidence. Each stage is clickable, and that's more useful than it may sound at first. You can open a stage card and see what's already been done and what's next. That matters because people get overwhelmed when they can't tell the difference between completed work and future work. If the system shows both, clearly your team can stop spinning and start sequencing. There's also a domain progress grid on that page, which gives you another way to connect the journey to the actual compliance work. So you're not just moving through pretty stage names, you're seeing how those stages connect back to real domain progress. That's a big deal for operations folks and leadership alike. And then there's today's focus, which I think is one of the smarter features here. Instead of opening to a blank page and asking you to invent the day's priorities from scratch, the system picks the single most important thing you should do today based on your current scores. I appreciate that. Decision fatigue is real. By about 2:30 in the afternoon, even smart people start making questionable choices, usually involving snacks, but sometimes compliance too. If today's focus points you toward generating the SSP, pay attention to that. The System Security Plan is one of those core documents that helps bring your environment, your controls, and your implementation story together. In the Documents area, the platform can generate the SSP and several policy types using your real control statuses as context. That means the document is grounded in your actual compliance data, not just generic filler. And if you feel stuck at any point, use the AI advisor. This is another place where the tool does something practical. It doesn't open with an empty chat box and make you guess what to ask. It starts with a data-driven action plan and gives you 3 prioritized actions as numbered buttons. In other words, the AI leads and you follow. That's helpful when you're tired, new to CMMC, or both. The same idea shows up on the controls page too. You can hit Ask AI about this on a specific control and get guidance tied to that exact control and status, not some generic compliance speech. So if the journey tells you what phase you're in, the AI can help you keep moving when the road gets muddy. So here's the simple play. Use the dashboard to understand your health, use the journey page to understand your path, and lean on today's focus and the AI advisor when you're not sure what comes next. You do that consistently, and CMMC starts looking a whole lot less like a mountain and more like a trail with markers. We'll keep walking that trail together in future episodes.